Coming up on LTC News, rebuilding Lowell bridges, a book reading marathon,
a satori,
and we hit the ice with UML. Stay with us. Hey everyone, I'm Al Gentili for LTC News, where community creates media and media creates community. Make sure to check us out on Facebook or send an email to ltcn@ltc.org and give us your thoughts. Now, the City of Lowell was recently awarded a highly competitive Tiger Grant from the U.S. Department of Transportation. The $13 million grant will enable the city to gain ownership and rebuild 8 bridges over Lowell's historic canals. The grant proposal was a collaborative effort between the city, the university, the park, and other community organizations. On October 3rd, the University of Massachusetts Lowell hosted the U.S. Transportation Secretary Anthony Foxx, Senator Markey, and Representative Tsongas at a roundtable discussion about the need for new bridges.
On October 3rd, 2016, a roundtable discussion led by Congresswoman Tsongas was held at UMass Lowell in regards to the recent awarding of the Transportation Investment Generating Economic Recovery Grant, otherwise known as the Tiger Grant. Congresswoman Tsongas was joined by U.S. Secretary of Transportation Anthony Foxx, Senator Edward Markey, as well as local, state, and business officials to discuss the implementation of Tiger Grant projects. The City of Lowell was awarded the $13.4 million Tiger Grant by the U.S. Department of Transportation in an effort to repair and take ownership of 8 canal bridges in the downtown section of the city. After the roundtable discussion, Secretary Foxx took time to field questions from reporters and spoke to the complexity and success of the Tiger Grant.
The chances of winning a Tiger Grant are astronomical. We get, on any given round of Tiger, $10 billion of funding requests, and in this case I think we had $500 million to give, so that gives you a sense of how difficult it is. But what we look for are projects that are going to transform communities. And here in Lowell you have a community that has been the heartbeat of the Industrial Revolution for forever in our country, and still has good bones, so to speak, when it comes to infrastructure, but it's also aging. And we, through this grant, are able to simultaneously help repair aging infrastructure and create new ladders of opportunity for the entire community. And what's so great about this award is the partnerships. The partnerships of federal, state, and local government, the university's involvement, the private sector through UML Energy. Everyone sort of came together to focus attention on what could be done here, and we're grateful to be a part of it.
Many of the bridges are currently closed to traffic in at least one direction, resulting in detours as well as impacts to local businesses, economic opportunities, and visitors to the Lowell National Historical Park. The Tiger Grant will allow these bridges to be either rehabilitated or replaced. This is Jason Marshall reporting for LTC News.
Work has already begun on the Broadway Street Bridge, and the whole project is expected to be completed in the fall of 2019. For more detailed information about the grant and the bridge project, visit lowellbridges.com. And now, let's go to Brian Dorrington, LTC Director of Municipal Programming for the City Hall Synopsis.
Hello and welcome to the City Council Synopsis for the meeting of October 4th, 2016. Did someone say floating movie screens, water taxis, ice skating? Yes, I did, just now. But more importantly, so did members of the Lowell Waterways Vitality Project. Members of the group gave an impressive and colorful presentation on the potential to increase recreation and boost economic development, taking advantage of Lowell's 5.6 miles of canal. In addition to the previously mentioned ideas brought forth, the group spoke about increased illumination to beautify the canals, but to also increase security and activity. All of the council members in attendance spoke glowingly about the project. Councilor Mercier at one point said she is out of her mind with excitement.
I am so out of my mind with excitement.
And quoted God in proclaiming, "Let there be light."
Let there be light.
And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light.
A few kinks still need to be ironed out. For instance, Enel Green Power, a private energy company, still owns portions of the canal. The group made it clear that it will need to work with the city's legal department to figure that part out. Funding is another issue. The project is estimated to cost between $5 and $10 million and will take about 5 years to complete. The group hopes to take advantage of grants and will be seeking donations. There will be a public meeting concerning the project at UMass Lowell's Innovation Hub on October 27th. For more information on this project, visit lowellheritagepartnership.org. From canals to the Canaligator, Lowell Spinners owner Dave Heller addressed the council on the current state and the future of the Lowell Spinners. There's probably a more creative transition from canals to baseball, but I couldn't come up with anything. If you think of one, leave it in the comments section on our Facebook page. If you're watching on cable, just shout it out loud at your TV. We're always listening here at LTC. Okay, back to Dave Heller. Heller complimented the city in saying that he's owned 6 minor league teams, but has never received the kind of welcoming that he has in Lowell. He expressed that he's committed to keeping the team in Lowell and plans to make many improvements to the ballpark. Heller stated he's not in the baseball business, nor is he in the entertainment business. He's in the memory-making business. He pointed to a recent example of a candy drop they had after a Spinners game. A helicopter dropped 1,000 pounds of candy onto the field for kids and opportunistic adults to shove into their pockets, all without a single person being candy crushed. Keep up the good work, Dave. Later into the night, the council adjourned into an executive session to discuss the leasing agreement with LeLacheur Park, which expires in 2018. Currently, Heller and the city are in negotiations regarding the future of the lease. If you don't know what an executive session is, don't worry, you're not alone, and I will attempt to explain it to you. An executive session is when a public body enters into a discussion that is closed to the general public. This is generally used to discuss collective bargaining, litigation, and personal complaints brought against public officials or city employees. Records of the meeting, which are referred to as minutes, are still kept and released to the public once the issue is settled. There are exceptions, however. If attorney-client privilege would be violated, for instance, that information could potentially remain undisclosed. Now, that's all I have for today. Remember to tune into the meetings on LTC Channel 99 and visit our on-demand page at ltc.org and watch the meetings anytime. Thanks for watching. Back to you, Al.
Everybody goes home in October, wrote Jack Kerouac in his novel On the Road, and this year is no exception. From October 6th through the 10th, the Lowell Celebrates Kerouac organization is host to 5 days of events that celebrate the works and the words of native son beat author Jack Kerouac. Kerouac, whose native language was French, would usher in a new generation of American literature and writers. Visitors from across the globe join locals at this annual event this year to honor the 50th anniversary of the publication of Kerouac's novella, Satori in Paris.
We're at Lupine Road, number 9 or number 7, where Jack Kerouac was born, March the 12th, 1922.
This year we're celebrating the 50th anniversary of the publication of Jack's novel, Satori in Paris.
Words. This festival is about words, the lyrical, poetic, sometimes stream of consciousness words of a French-Canadian kid from Lowell.
You know, Jack was a kid that came out of a community that was 90% French. It was like living in a big bubble in Lowell. He thought in French.
For St. Louis elementary students like Kerouac and Roger Brunel, the first few years of classes were conducted in French, and English lessons would be gradually introduced.
We started the day, it was in French. We even had our French Quebec flag that we, addressed and made a pledge. And then we went home for lunch, and we came back, and everything was in English. I pledge allegiance to the flag.
Brunel believes that it's this combination of French and American culture and language that gave Kerouac some of his worldwide appeal.
When we do come here, We have to learn the language, which is not British English. It's the American language that sucks in all of these other aspects and creates a new method of expression. This is what Kerouac came out and shared with the rest of us, and that's why so many people identify with him.
As a lover of words, Kerouac was a lifelong patron of the Pollard Memorial Library.
The library was really an important part of his Lowell. He talked about coming here and reading the encyclopedias in the semicircle shelves under the bust of Julius Caesar.
As a Lowell High student, he was known to skip school to immerse himself in the library's world of books.
We're not in the business of encouraging truancy, but we do admire his independent nature and his intellectual curiosity. Satori in Paris, Chapter 1.
This year, the library is hosting a marathon reading of Satori in
I
Paris.
received an illumination of some kind that seems to
There's a
have changed
word you may be wondering about.
In effect, a satori, the Japanese word for sudden illumination, sudden awakening, or simply kick in the eye.
kick in the eye.
For a complete list of events, go to lowellcelebrateskerouac.org. Perhaps you too will find your Satori.
It seems the Satori was handed to me by a taxi driver.
Although it seems like summer just ended, it's time to think about ice. UMass Lowell's hockey season begins on October 7th. Let's join Deb Belanger to learn more in our Let's Go segment.
Welcome back to Let's Go with the Greater Merrimack Valley Convention and Visitors Bureau. My name is Deb Belanger and I am your host today. Right now I'm standing at the Tsongas Center at UMass Lowell. And we're here to talk about the UMass Lowell Riverhawks hockey team. The home opener is this Friday night at 7:15. This is the 50th anniversary celebration of the hockey team, and I know all of the fans are ready to raise the roof and cheer on our beloved Riverhawks. In 2013 and 2014, the Riverhawks won Hockey East Division Championships. And we also had our run at the Frozen Four in 2013 as well. So I have no doubt that under the leadership of Coach Norm Bazin, that we will be competing once again to get into the Hockey East tournament for the 5th consecutive year, I might add. So, being the 50th anniversary, there are going to be so many promotions and so many events. So, please come out and join us at the Tsongas Center and cheer on our Riverhawks. Remember, if you're on social media, please hashtag UML Hockey 50. And for more information on the upcoming games, visit merrimackvalley.org and you will be able to see the schedule, and you will also see all the other great events happening in the city of Lowell and the surrounding areas. And united in blue, let's go.
In today's SunSpot, we continue to delve into the new hockey season, which is a big attraction for the entire Lowell area. Sun editor Chris Scott interviews UMass Lowell head hockey coach Norm Bazin about what he's looking forward to this season and the team's past year's successes.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Chris Scott, the enterprise editor at The Sun. Thank you for tuning in to this evening's edition of SunSpot. You'll probably recognize where I am. I'm on center ice at the Tsongas Center at UMass Lowell with the UMass Lowell hockey coach Norm Bazin. we're going to spend just a few minutes with Norm talking to him about the upcoming season, what his hopes and what his aspirations are. The team has had several real good years, and we'll see if we'll continue that heading into the next season. So, Coach, I want to thank you for meeting with us today. If I remember correctly, you did make it into the Hockey East tournament last year, and also the NCAA tournament, correct, too, right?
Yeah, we've been to the Hockey East final 4 years in a row.
Right.
And we've been to the NCAA tournament for the last 5 years, so it's been
All
a
right.
good stint.
So let's just stick with the Hockey East tournament for a little bit, then we can go on to the NCAA tournament. What do you attribute the team's success to the last several years?
There's several things. I think an accountability to each other is a big one. I think we've got good kids that buy into our system, so we're very fortunate.
When you say your system, what are you referring to? Can you be a little bit more specific on that?
Yeah, I can be. I think there's a certain type of kid that succeeds at Lowell. A tenacious kid, a relentless kid. And I think we enjoy a entertaining style to play, and that's a puck pursuit style. So the kids are aggressive in every single zone, and they enjoy playing that way.
When you say puck pursuit, right? I assume that's always chasing the puck. Can you elaborate on that a little bit and tell us, your coaching method in that regard and what you tell the kids, what you tell your student athletes?
Yeah, that's part of the formula. You don't chase the puck all over the ice.
Yeah.
You make sure you pressure the puck, and you create turnovers from the opposition by pressuring the puck. So I think we're a little bit more calculated than that as far as our style.
Yep.
But the kids enjoy it because most of the game is spent with the puck rather than chasing.
Okay, great. Now, you've done really well the past few years, both at the Hockey East level and in the NCAA level. What are your aspirations heading into this season? According to my good friend Barry Scanlon, who you know, the assistant editor at the Sun, you lost quite a few guys over the last several years, seniors, productive seniors. How do you view the season coming up?
Well, we're I would say cautiously optimistic. Every year we play for trophies, and we want to be the best team at the end of the season, and this year is no different. It's exciting to have 4 seniors, Dylan Zink, Evan Campbell, Kapla, our captain, and Joseph Carbandarla, that play a very big role in the offense. They all contribute, and it's very seldom that you have 4 seniors who are such big players in your lineup. So because of that, I think we'll have some success.
Okay. You had a graduation, the goalie graduated too, Kevin Boyle, correct? And he succeeded a very successful goalie. That was Helena, right? Who's now playing in the NHL. So how are we looking behind the net, in front of the net?
Well, that's a good question. We're going to have to buy some tickets to games to find that out. For us, we aim to build a competition between all 4 goaltenders and let them work it out among them. It's a process. You got to let these kids succeed. You got to let them fail, and you got to let them learn from their mistakes. So it's going to be a process, but one will emerge, and we just don't know which one that is yet.
So you're carrying 4 goalies right now?
That's correct. Yeah.
Now, do all 4 make the team, or just 2 make the team?
No, all 4 make the team, and we have the team we're going to work with all year.
Okay.
And those are 4 goaltenders that we have.
Okay. Now, at a game, do you dress all 4, or do you just dress 1 backup?
We usually dress 3.
Dress 3 backup. Oh, okay. All right. Norm, can you tell us about the Hockey East? As a hockey fan, and I went to Northeastern University, it seems that the competition between schools in Hockey East is really intense. This is the hotbed of college hockey, right? Across the country, you play teams like Notre Dame, Minnesota, Duluth, but it seems that all things come back to Hockey East. What is it about Hockey East and the competition among, UMass Lowell, Boston University, BC, and you?
Well, first and foremost, I think Hockey East offers the parity that no other conference offers. The parity from top to bottom is great. On any given night, the bottom team can beat the top team, which makes it difficult for coaches. At the same time, it makes it very, very competitive, and it makes you a better coach, and it makes you a better player in the end. So we feel we've got an excellent conference. I think New England is special because the regionality of it. There's a lot of great hockey fans, and they can watch their team by driving a short distance, so they follow their teams around New England, and that's a special privilege they have.
Right. Barry suggested I ask you this question, actually. What do you think about the fans here at UMass Lowell? And I think you referenced this at the Lowell Plan Breakfast where you spoke last week, that you've got terrific fans. You've been all over. You're from Canada originally, where there were some crazy fans as well. What makes the fans here at UMass Lowell and at the Tsongas Center special?
Well, the reason we've got the best fans is
now, you're not just saying that, right? You really
absolutely
mean
not. Absolutely not. We've got the best fans because they really live through our team. We're really a microcosm of our city, and it's a hardworking person. It's someone who comes to work every day, and the kids really enjoy living in Lowell, and they feel the support, and that's why we were last year had the highest fan base in Hockey East. The first time ever that's happened, so we're very proud of that. We want that to continue.
How many fans average fan came to the
last year was 5,369.
Okay, I think the Chancellor actually mentioned that, the Lowell played breakfast. That's pretty impressive when you consider you're up against the likes of BU, BC, the big Boston schools.
Yeah, and I'm sure they're saying the same thing about Lowell, the up-and-coming big Lowell school.
Right,
so
right.
We love to play in this league. At the same time, we're not going away. This will be an exciting time for this season to see if we can even up the ante for the fan base.
Now, if my memory serves me correct, one of your big players last year was the young man by the name of Chappie, right? He's graduated?
He has, yeah.
Yeah, so how do you replace someone like that? He seemed to be a real team leader, both on the bench and on the ice.
Yeah, three guys in particular: Adam Chappie, AJ White, Adam Simon, New York Rangers, AJ Simon with the Providence Bruins, and Kevin Simon with the Anaheim Ducks. So all three guys played a prominent role in our development, but this is no different than any other year. Different guys will step up, and that's the exciting part about having a new group and a new season.
Which freshmen or number of freshmen on the team this year do you expect to step up and really make a big contribution?
That's a fascinating question because we've got 9 freshmen, and on any given night we can have as many as 6 in the lineup. And I expect at least 4 or 5 of them to get significant minutes right away. So,
is 9 freshmen, is that considered high? Is that a big number for you guys?
Yeah, it's on the high side. I would say 6 to 7 is on average.
Okay.
But 9's a little higher than that. However, overall, it depends on any given year how many you bring in.
Okay. It would seem to me that those guys will need experience playing, and they might make some mistakes this year. But it seems going forward in subsequent years that with as those guys get more ice time, that will really bode well for the program in the future, right?
It does, and the one thing you can't account for is kids leaving early. Hellebuck and Folden both left after their second year, so you want to get them as much experience as possible. However, here, we operate under a meritocracy system. If they deserve the ice time, they're going to get it, whether they're young or old. Yeah. So we're looking forward to giving them the ice time if they deserve it.
You mentioned earlier 3 players that graduate, or maybe 4. 3 or 4 of them are in the NHL at this point. Can you elaborate a little bit on that and just go over those players again? And you must be very proud of that, because that's what the players certainly aspire to, right?
Absolutely. That's their dream. We're here to facilitate that, then win championships all at the same time. So very proud of those kids. Scott Wilson played for us for 3 years here. He ended up winning the Stanley Cup with the Pittsburgh Penguins. Christian Folden, as you know, signed with the Minnesota Wild and has played significant minutes for those guys. And then you have Hellebuck, who's trying to be the #1 goalie when they were Big Jets. So all 3 of those guys have played for us in the recent past, and they're all doing very, very well.
This is always a question that I've had about college sports when you have a real stud, right? Whether it's football or hockey, and they're considering leaving the program early. And if they make that decision, they're not going to get their diploma right away, at least, not for the foreseeable future. So if one of your players comes to you, like 2 years into the program, and says, I've got this chance to go pro, what's your advice to them? Would you wish that they stayed and finished their diploma and then play hockey? Or do you urge them, to go on and play professional hockey and then come back later for your diploma?
Yeah, that's on a case-by-case basis. It really depends what that person's skill set is and how profound a role they have waiting for them. So really it's on a case-by-case basis, but in the end we don't really have a whole lot of say in, their advisors and their parents have a lot of say in that, but overall you encourage them, you use them while they're here, and you encourage them to come back and graduate if they did leave early.
Right. All right, so you're opening the season now, Friday night against Minnesota Duluth. What kind of team is Minnesota Duluth, and what are you telling your team? prepare for Minnesota Duluth?
Well, we've got a tall task ahead of us. Minnesota Duluth is an excellent hockey team. They always end up in the top 10 in the country at the end of the season, so they're very much in the same category as we are. A smaller end school that ends up doing very well by the end of the year. And they're a puck pursuit team. They're big, probably the biggest team in college hockey at the moment. So we have some great challenges ahead of us. However, the fans are in for a great weekend of hockey. They're an exciting team to watch. They're very aggressive, and so are we. So it's like playing ourselves in some ways.
When you come back to play Hockey East teams, right? What is your favorite team to play? Is it BU? Is it BC? Is it Northeastern University? UConn? Maine? Who do you like to play the most? I mean, is there a real big rivalry?
I like to play the next opponent the most.
spoken like a true coach.
I think we've had some great battles with the team down the road, Merrimack. We've had some great battles with BU in the playoffs over the years, and Providence seems to be a natural rival lately. So, but for a coach, the next opponent is the best opponent.
All right, so we've got to wrap up here. We only have a minute left. No, if you could just wrap up for us. What are you looking for just heading into the season, and how deep do you think you'll go?
Well, it's a great question.
Do we expect an NCAA tournament again? Do you think that's realistic?
We expect it every year.
Yep.
Yeah, that's our goal every year. So we're expecting big things at the same time. We're expecting to go through the process and get better every week, and we're looking forward to that process.
Terrific. Good luck in the season. Thanks for meeting with us today.
Thank you.
Keep yourself safe and all your players safe, and I hope you have an injury-free season. Thanks for tuning in this evening, and look for another edition of SunSpot next week. Thank you.
That wraps it up here at LTC News, a weekly program that airs first every Thursday and then replays daily at various times on Channel 8 and 99. Thanks for joining us. I'm Al Gentili, and be well.